Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Touliatos and brought to you by his book, The Bible of Bodybuilding. Over 700 pages, everything you need to know about training, nutrition, supplementation, and PED use. Available on Amazon.com. While you're on Amazon.com buying books, yeah, my book, Real Bodybuilding. What a great book. Now, all the way from Athens, Greece, please welcome Dr. George N. Touliatos. Morning, doctor.
Hello, Ron.
Welcome.
Have a nice week. I'm very excited because on Wednesday, I'm flying to Italy, to Rimini. I'm going to see Sergio Oliva Jr., Rich Gaspari, Bob Cicciarillo, William Bonac, and Andrea Presti, along with Rudy Panata. Is a seminar, actually. It's like a congress of fitness and wellness. It's like a FIBO thing, you know, but I will give a speech on Friday about the TRT and on Saturday about the steroid harm reduction.
Yeah, so there's two things going on. So you're doing the part called the science of bodybuilding, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
And it's an academy. The day before is the profession of bodybuilding. That's, I guess, when the athletes talk.
Okay.
So, yeah. Wow. So this is 3 days long? Sabato, June?
Yeah, it's Friday to actually no, it's Thursday to Sunday. It's June 1 to 4. Yeah.
I don't speak Italian, but Venerde? You know,
actually, it's going to be translated. My speech would be translated by Rosella Brunetti, who has the rights of my Italian edition.
Oh, wow.
And she's a friend of Richard Sparring. Yes, and you know, I met Andrea Presti at the elevator of the Planet Hollywood, and he was with Mauro Sassi, and they told me, "We know you, Doc, who you are." Yeah, so I would be delighted to speak again with Sergio. I don't know. Well, he's coming now from LA to Italy, and he was from Dubai to LA, 18 hours flight, and he posted a video saying that I'm a stressed water balloon, you know, because of the retention, that stress, and also this overseas flight that run non-stop. That, I don't know, maybe caused him to water retention in the lower back. Actually, frankly, I saw the comparison of the mandatory poses. According to myself, he only lost the rear double biceps just because of he looks smooth in the Christmas tree, but besides, he was super defined in the legs, in the upper back, of course, in the front, to the side, he was very good. He was big. You believe he was not full enough?
He was not full enough. I've seen Sergio full. So, you know, a couple people said this was the best Sergio. I've seen the best Sergio I've seen. 2018, he took a very close second place at Chicago Pro to Mike Lockett.
But he was much smaller than it was 5 years ago.
Okay, so let's jump forward to 2020 when he took 5th place at the
Arnold Classic.
Yeah, you were there, weren't you? You were at that one.
Yeah, he said he was also dry there and then not super volumized. You know, I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, he wasn't big enough and wide enough. Yeah. We are not satisfied. Listen, the guy that won, it was an outsider, you know. Wow. He had, the symmetry was 60-40 from enormous leg size, but not that dominating torso and arms. But I have to tell you, he was crispy. His back was crispy. Okay, just for the sake of definition. No, you can win a show.
He had a better back. I mean, he was not a favorite going in, Ross Flanagan. I did a preview show, and we didn't know Sergio was in it. We thought these two guys, Tonio Burton and Stu Sutherland, we thought they were going to have a rematch. One of them was going to win. Then we heard Sergio's coming. We're like, oh, well, there you go. Sergio's going to win. Easy win for Sergio. And nobody saw this Ross guy coming. I didn't see him coming. I know who he is, but I didn't think he was going to beat all them, but he did.
He had very good legs, but I mean, his upper torso was not something to be frightened of.
Yeah. But the bummer is Sergio's going to be in Rimini, Italy with you the same weekend. He could have been in Toronto.
I know.
You know, and I think he probably could have done a lot in a week as far as fixing the fullness issues, the water in the lower back. I think he could have fixed all that in a week, possibly.
But he has a contract with Panata. The point is, I think he should have competed in the New York Pro, perhaps. Yeah. And then try the. But I don't know what's going on with the visa thing.
Right.
Now he has to go back to Dubai after Italy and organize the rest of the preparation in the shows. But it's just a pity. I mean, if we not see that of Levi, he did a tremendous comeback, and he said he's gonna kill it, and he looked phenomenal at least on the pictures in Dubai. At 285.
I'm saying that Sergio in Dubai a week before the show, 2 weeks before the show, 3 weeks, that Sergio would have won the show, I think.
He was depleted. I think 285 he was depleted,
Yeah. He looked, like flat, like the air.
But you said that he was not full enough. So being flat, you don't win a show because of the sick of carb loading?
I don't know. It could have been the stress, the cortisol, carb loading. We don't know. Maybe you can talk to him in Rimini and find out.
I don't want,
Sergio, what happened?
Be very, very delicate with the pros, because you don't know what's on their mind.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well. Anyway, you'll have a good time there. It looks like Rudy Panada putting on another major event over there. He's really investing in the bodybuilding. So God bless Rudy Panada. All right, well, we got some questions, of course. We got good amount of questions this week, so let's get to it. First one is training question. It's an injury type of question. I've been experiencing pain when doing biceps, specifically hammer curls. It's this grip. The pain is in the front shoulder. What should I do to get rid of this pain?
I think it has to do with the head of the biceps, the tendon that goes over here to the humerus.
Yeah.
Perhaps I think it's the long head. Now, when I was doing hammer curls, having a very nasty pain over here is the tense elbow, especially with this grip, Even now that I'm doing this, I have a small pain over here. So with the hammer curls, also you get pain if you have tennis elbow, but not just with the hammer curls, but every kind of flex. When you stimulated the long head that is inserted to the humerus, which is the brachial bone, you have this kind of pain.
I mean, my solution would be stop doing hammer curls. You don't really need. A lot of guys don't do hammer curls.
Actually, hammer curls bring much mass because they increase the brachialis that lies beneath the biceps. And
it's gonna
in
hurt
order
you,
to see
though.
the brachialis, you have to be super defined. But it puts some mass to the arm.
Yeah, I mean, I would ask this gentleman try reverse grip on like an easy curl bar. That'll also work.
Reverse, but if you have over here the tennis elbow here so nasty. Now I can lift heavier with the biceps with the hammer rather than the natural grip, or the supinating,
Right. So for that pain, that's a very common, that bicep tendon. A lot of guys get pain there. It's just it's inflammation. I mean, I don't think there's really much you can do about it.
Yeah, tendonitis.
Yeah, take some ibuprofen, I guess, some Advil. All right, trenbolone question of the week, or at least the first one. I bet we get more than one. Can you get leaner on trenbolone while eating in a caloric surplus?
This guy has to understand that eating lean with a caloric surplus in any kind of drug will make you gain mass that in the long run will make you leaner. So this guy, I think, wants to tell, can I eat my junk food and overeating and just taking trenbolone and be lean? So yes, steroids can justify a little bit more calories. The point is those kind of calories to be quality and not that much more than 500 a day in order to put up some muscle. Okay. So don't justify the overeating of any kind of food stuff for the sake of the trenbolone use or the GH use or any kind of steroid use.
I mean, I guess, can you get leaner on trenbolone eating a caloric surplus? I mean, technically, if you're eating more calories.
Depends what you eat, yeah.
If you're eating more calories than you're taking in, scientifically, it's impossible to get leaner because it's just calories in versus calories
but the point is to add some mass. I mean, no matter what the PDs are and how lean you eat, you gain, let's say, 1 pound of lean body mass and half a pound of fat. This is inevitable, okay? The point is to minimize as much as possible the fat gain and focus on the lean body mass gain, the muscle tissue. And vice versa. When we burn the fat, we need to preserve all the muscle tissue as possible.
I mean, that's why people with a lot of muscle mass, they can eat a lot of calories and they don't get fat.
And also, it's much easier for them to become leaner because they have a very high caloric expenditure.
They're sitting there, they're burning more calories than you are because they have all that muscle mass.
For instance, somebody who trains also his legs, he has a higher metabolic rate than somebody who train just his upper torso? And can he become leaner easier?
Yeah, that's why I've talked to a lot of men's physique guys. They all train their legs, and it's because the metabolic stimulation.
Well, you need to have a volume behind the trunks. I mean,
some of these guys have huge legs. I've seen it lately.
Yeah, but you don't need the separation.
Right. GH question, first one anyway. Do you think it's safe to stay on a low dose of HGH for life, say 2 IUs, especially once you start getting older, like after 50 years of age?
Well, usually after the 50, you have a decline of the IGF-1. You can measure this under fasted state because IGF-1 elevates after we eat and or insulin rises. But yes, 2 IUs is not enough. You can see also how much the IGF-1 elevates after the 2 IUs of growth hormone. And check out the A1C and perhaps the tumor markers to see the safety that you are.
Plenty of people are on 2 IUs for the whole for life, forever. Plenty of people.
Plenty, yes.
Yeah, that's a very common dose for the life extension clinics they give out. So let's see. Next one. What is the best way to do the leg press to avoid lower back pain? Some say press your back flat. Others say reduce the length of travel to reduce the bend in the knees. So they're saying don't go all the way down.
This has a point because if you go all the way down, it's more likely your butt to move. Exactly. And if you flex your butt, you're screwed because your spine will be stressed. That's why you need to press down your butt low, and be very isolated. Your butt should be, stuck with the pillow. Yeah. If you want to go all the way down.
If your spine rolls up the bottom of your spine with 800,000 pounds on a leg press, ouch, you're gonna get
especially if you have the old-fashioned vertical.
Oh yeah.
When you look at the ceiling,
Yeah.
Oh my God, it can screw up your lumbar.
Does your main gym have a vertical leg press? The one you go to most of the time?
No, this is very super rare.
Yeah, we don't have too many of them over here.
Canada has one, and Rami puts up 40 plates.
40. Oh, God.
Yeah, 40. 10. It has 1 and 2 and 10 in each side.
He's got helpers with all those plates though. If you were just alone, that would take you all day putting all.
Yeah, Dennis James used to pay people to put up the plates.
Yeah. Oxygen Gym has a whole staff of people. They've had that for years. That's all they do is get your weights for you, put your weights away. Oh boy, imagine that. Okay, doctor, is it true testosterone can cause what the bodybuilding forum bros call test flu, a feeling of illness a day or so after injection? If so, are there any medical explanations for it?
I think I've heard of more the tren flu, the kind of fever that you have when you inject tren, but perhaps this has to do with the hygiene method that you use. If it's contaminated, but hypothetically, perhaps a both sides think that tren can increase the inflammation, including the muscle inflammation, because it kicks prostaglandins and can give you this feeling of sickness, Otherwise, testosterone, are you kidding me? Would be the theory then would be blamed for this, for giving you flu. So I don't think testosterone can give you flu unless you're using underground, it's contaminated, or you don't sterilize yourself before and after the injection.
I don't think I ever do after. Here's a good question. I want to know what would happen if I blast the same 500 milligrams of testosterone and enanthate more than once. Like I'll do 500 milligrams only test in 2023 and the same cycle in 2024. Can I expect the same gains, or should I increase the dose? Will my androgen receptors desensitize after the same dose, same drug? Because I don't want to touch any other drug than only testosterone. Thank you, and much respect to Dr. from
No,
Istanbul.
I think you're going to have this kind of muscle memory thing, and you're going to gain your gain your size within 4 weeks. Of course, there's no saturation thing if you clear the system for 1 year. I don't think you need more. And besides, it comes a saturation in a brief period of time after 8 weeks, according to Bill Welling. But it's a muscle memory thing that former steroid users can catch up with muscle memory, the lost gains way faster than the people that were natty and had a huge gap of non-training period.
I talked to a pro, a 212 pro, at the New York Pro. I won't say who it was, but he told me, I don't know how this came up because I don't ask people about their drug cycles, but he said, I've been competing for like 6, 7 years and I haven't increased my doses at all. They increased from the first year to the second. And after that, I've stayed exactly the same. And he keeps getting bigger and better. So maybe you don't need to keep increasing your doses like people think you do.
I don't think it has to do with the body size and body mass index and the kilogram that you are. Because also it engages how you eat. And this is also another parameter, how you train. Okay.
Right on. Okay. So on the last episode, you talked about Cabergoline versus Bromocriptine. What are your thoughts on Pramipexole as an alternative? I did a bit of digging and it seems to have less side effects than the other two with less strain on the heart. Do you think it is as effective at lowering prolactin and raising dopamine as the others? Rami.
I never tried this drug, and honestly, it does not exist. I mean, it's not available in Greece, so I cannot speak theoretically. But some people are taking vitamin B6 for the sake of prolactin, and I mean, this is laughable because we're trying to use medications to lower the biochemistry of the hormonal system instead of supplements. So it's just like comparing, for instance, HEG with tribulus terrestris. So I have no idea about this, but I stick with Dostinex, which is Cabergoline, the most known. Now, about the heart, definitely you shouldn't use for a long period of time. Only, I said, work with evidence. And when you have an elevated prolactin over 15, let's say, you can use occasionally dopamine agonists in order to lower prolactin, but do not crash the prolactin.
Here's a good one, because we've talked about the dangers of underground gear many times. Doc, you always say never take gear from underground labs, stick with Pharmagrade. But for example, in my country, the only Pharmagrade available is Nebido, which is horrible on the side effects and which is so damn expensive, and I can't afford it. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of people in my situation that really need to be on TRT or HRT and go with the underground labs option because it's the only one available to them. Besides some heavy metals, what else could underground lab products have in them? And how would heavy metals and other impurities affect the health of men that need replacement and are forced to risk their life with underground labs?
If those men have to be in TRT, why not they get prescribed them? So it's not your decision to get into TRT for the sake of the lifestyle, but it's a medical term because you have deficiency. So not just because you're 40 or 50, you need to go to testosterone, your total testosterone is 500. You don't need, obviously. Now, it's expensive. Well, it's something that you need it for life, so invest this kind of money and cut it for someone else because health is wealth. And Nebido, okay, is not as good as cypionate or enanthate or propionate, but there are many people who get very convenient with Nebido because they hate the pinning and they just want to visit the doctor 4 times a year and just do the shot. I have a patient who's a doctor also who lives in Scandinavia and said, I've managed to do Nebido every 8 weeks and my trough levels are 600, I feel great. So anyway, mind the Nebido from Bayer is the best brand in the world, just like Testosterone from Bayer. Also, so Germany produces the finest 2 testosterone in the world, Nebido and Testosterone. Now about the heavy metals, yeah, maybe it may give you some CNS damage because mercury, just by eating salmon that is, for instance, contaminated with heavy metals can give you Alzheimer's. Now, contamination is the other thing, but it's less likely. And then the most common is underdosed. So they rip your pocket off. That's all. But if you were about to use any kind of medication, would you go on the internet instead of the pharmacy?
Let me ask you this. If I had to use Nebido, this is probably what I would think would be best. I would microdose it and take it like every 2 weeks, a tiny amount, because it's so concentrated. And I know it would take a while to get in my system, but
But after
wouldn't
a
that,
while,
wouldn't that be the best way to use Nebido? Small microdosing every couple of
yeah.
weeks?
So this guy uses 1 ml, which is 250 milligrams every 10 days.
Okay.
So actually, he uses Nebido every 2 weeks exactly. So that's why he uses Nebido within 8 weeks window. So every 2 weeks he takes 250, just like taking every week 125. Okay. And there are people, who forget and they're not so accurate and spot on their pinning, and they hate pinning themselves. So let's say I'm gonna do this every 3 months, and it's cool.
You're not forgetting to take your testosterone? Unbelievable.
Well, I forgot. I mean, which day of the week I've taken the previous dose.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yes, I'm forgetting. If it's
bad.
every 5 days or if it's every 2 days, did I inject the day before? Sometimes you mix it up.
Oh, that's true. I mean, but yeah, but I usually get pretty alarmed if it's been a couple days late because I'm crazy like that. Next one is besides melatonin, which I take 5 to 10 milligrams daily. What other supplements can I take to regulate my circadian rhythm? I'm an artist on HRT, falling asleep at 5 to 6 a.m. every day for the last 15 years or so. I'm trying so hard to regulate my sleep, but nothing seems to work. What can I do?
Sorry, this is not the circadian rhythm. The circadian rhythm is from night till dawn. You cannot turn upside down the day and make it night like a vampire, Otherwise, it's not called circadian rhythm. In the long run, you're going to have adrenal fatigue, hypogonadism, and a flabby midsection out of cortisol. Okay? I have patients that actually, one of them is a doctor. He sleeps at 2 or 3 a.m. for years. He can barely make a decent physique, even though he's on TRT. Usually people wake up at 5 a.m. or 6. And this is the best way in order to live productively because it's the repair of the system that happens during the REM sleep. And when you stay up all night and cortisol is high, then it happens the hyperglycemia, and then the hypoglycemia, you crave for carbs. There's no REM production, there's no GH release, there's no testosterone synthesis, and everything is screwed. And then you go to sleep in the morning when cortisol is supposed to be high to wake you up. I believe that melatonin won't save you. You will need to go to benzos, and this is tragic.
Is Ambien a benzo?
I'm not sure, but
Lunesta and Ambien.
Valium is a benzo. Valium is a benzo.
Oh, okay, I'm talking about the two most popular sleep medications, prescription ones in the U.S. are Ambien and Lunesta, and they both have a lot of side effects.
Yeah, Ambien has a red flag. Yes, it's a red line drug.
It gives people really bad nightmares, apparently.
You wake up in a nasty mood, but very grumpy.
Yeah. You've said on the show many times, sleep 11 to 7 if you can. That's the body's preferred.
Otherwise, do not have high expectations.
Yeah. 10 to 6 is fine too, guys. 10 to 6 if you want to wake up a little earlier. All right. We get this type of question every week. Can I add to my HRT protocol a low dose of Masteron, 100 to 200 milligrams a week indefinitely? How would that affect my health?
I think you should try on pharmaceutical grade provider. Masteron is very popular in bodybuilding. It used to be also for the sake of breast cancer. But why to do this if your SHBG is high? Okay, you can use DHT cream. You can use Proviron, which is Masteron, or you can increase your testosterone dose. But do not see the Masteron as part of HRT for the sake of body composition. All right, and it's most likely very fake. I mean, it could be testosterone propionate Masteron.
Yeah,
very easy.
Yeah, the most expensive drugs, guys, if you don't know this, the most expensive ones are the most commonly faked because there's a lot of money to be made for selling you.
And they are the cosmetic drugs, the ones that do not produce bulking and estrogens.
Yeah, because you'll never know if they're working or not, right? All right, last one. We get this all the time. Doc, what is a better way to use GH for fat loss? 2 IUs directly after waking up, and 2 IU 30 minutes before going to bed, or something else. The other gear I use is 250 milligrams test enanthate per week and 100 micrograms T4 per day. He has hypogonadism, low thyroid, plus glucose tolerance disorder. Wow.
Glucose tolerance means insulin resistance. If it's this, you cannot use GH because GH favors insulin resistance because it elevates your blood glucose levels. But anyway, I think those windows, I mean, certainly when you wake up fast in the morning, 8 to 12 hours, you have insulin sensitivity. Use the GH for a fat burning window. And before bed, it will make you sleep better, deeper, okay? And also part of recovery, when you sleep, you enhance this with the GH use because GH also favors the cellular reproduction. But make sure when you inject GH at night, it's 2 hours far from your dinner. It has to be low in carb, like a protein salad thing.
Do you think you would lose more fat if you did it twice a day versus once a day?
Yeah, twice a day. Well, if you use the same amount of let's say one of those 4 IUs or twice of 2. I've said before that GH, in first place, in small doses, does the fat burning. While if you spike the IGF-1, it's more likely to favor the muscle growth.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
Okay, fair enough. Well,
I've heard people injecting 3 times a day, every 8 hours. The GH. This is paranoid.
Well, they got a lot of time on their hands and a lot of growth hormone on their hands, I guess. It's a lot.
They call it the lean hormone. George Farah called it the lean hormone because it leans you out. If you want to get big, you have to abuse it or use IGF itself.
Speaking of George, did you know his nephew competed at the New York Pro, Ralph Farah?
I know there's a pro called Farah, and also a pro called Banud now also.
Oh, really? Is he related to Samir?
Yes, I think he's nephew, I think so, or he's I don't know, cousin. I'm not sure. Okay. Well, he's a young guy. Yeah.
And Samir was at the New York Pro too.
Yeah, he called me on the way to JFK. Yes.
All right, well, that is all for you guys in Italy. You can check out the doctor this weekend at Rimini, Italy, at the Pinata Science of Bodybuilding Super Seminar. A lot of great pro bodybuilders, a lot of great minds like George will be there. So check that out if you're anywhere near Rimini, Italy. I wish I was. And that's it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video, turn on your notifications, please, on your phone and on your YouTube. And if you have a question for Dr. Touliatos, please leave it in the comments below here. Or if you have any just general comments, we'd love to hear your feedback because that's what we're here for. We're here to help. Thank you, doctor, helping all these people around the world who have no one else to turn to with these type of questions. Someone who actually is a medical doctor and very well versed in the treatment of PED users, bodybuilders, and so on. Very, very unique opportunity you guys have with Dr. George every week here. So thank you, George. Enjoy your week. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Ask Dr. Testosterone. We'll see you next time. Hey, did you like that video? Smash that like button, subscribe to MD, and please comment down below. Thanks for watching.